Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Patrick Mulligan. I'm a photographer in Tucson, Arizona. Recently, I just got a portfolio review done by the awesome team at BYU Photo. If you haven't yet checked it out, it's on their YouTube channel. You can see it right here. Make sure you go check it out. It's a lot of great information, not just for me, but for everybody out there that's looking to get into the industry. They give me a lot of tips, tricks, a lot of feedback on my images and how to improve on them. So I basically have taken the feedback they've given me and I have applied it to my portfolio. And I wanted to go ahead and show you all the changes I've made to my portfolio. So if you want to see where the portfolio was before these changes, go ahead and go over to BYU Photo and check out their YouTube page and check out the portfolio review. It's a long one, it's an hour and 40 minutes, but a lot of great content in there. So let's go ahead and pull up my portfolio and the changes I've made. They all loved this image as my starter shot, and not much I've changed. Some of the things they did point out was that to kind of clean up the ground a little bit here. There were some tire tracks, some distracting things on the ground, so I cleaned that up. They also wanted to see a little more brightness in the player and make that red pop. So I did just a couple editing tweaks to it. But overall, the images has stayed the same. But really, I like the feedback they gave me on this image because I pulled the player out a little bit more and made those reds a little more vibrant in the flag. So I think he stands out a little bit more. Overall, really happy with the way that came out. No changes to this image except for position in the portfolio. I originally had it as the third image. It's now the second image just because I wanted to go right into the live action. So I started with a portrait and now I want to go into live action, but a celly sounded good right here. So I didn't change much in this image again, except for position. And then also I did edit the bottom to bring up the exposure down here at the bottom. So you can see there is more light on the water here to kind of just give a little more context to where we're at on the water. Next image here. So this is one I actually added. I took out an image. There were a couple images that weren't as strong. So I went through them and kind of picked out the images that I wanted in there that may have not made the cut originally, but it was really close. This is one I really like, especially I'm at Skull Sparks right now, and a lot of the people are talking about how they work in the logos and sponsors around the field. So this one kind of demonstrates that. You know, it's at the World Baseball Classic in Tucson, and so I'm kind of utilizing the atmosphere and the surroundings of the stadium to show off context. So I really like this image, and I was really close to putting it in before, and it was kind of I was debating, you know, because it's a little bit of a political thing right now with you know, all the controversy in the world. But my thinking was that sports supersedes that, and it brings people together. So you know, I love the image, and I'm going to keep it in, put it in there, and we'll see what they think when I show them next time. But I love this image, so I put it in. This one, I didn't do any editing. They did talk about the edge tension here. I didn't go back in and change that. It didn't bother me too much. There is a little bit of edge tension, but I didn't change the image at all. I really just like this one. If I do go back in, I would pull that out and maybe do a little bit of a generative fill on here to create some more background. But again, this image is more to show off my ability to get cut out. So this image we discussed. Originally, there was it was a horizontal crop. And there was a player on the side, and it was a little further down in my portfolio. I changed the crop, moved it to vertical, cleaned up the edges there. I know this guy's still getting cut off, but he's mostly in the frame. And I gave a little more. I took away some of the edge tension that Nate had talked about in on the top and bottom there. No changes to this image at all. Again, no changes to this one. Still right in the middle of the portfolio. I did change out the fencing image. When I was shooting picking out my fencing image, it was between this one and the other one. I really love the feedback they gave me on the outline of the person, and how the first image I had, you couldn't really see that outline, so that you kind of lost some of the athlete themselves. So this was a close second, and so I thought it was a little more executed properly with the light here on him, separating him out from the background. You do kind of lose his arm a bit. There's a little highlight there, so I could possibly strengthen those highlights up. But then again, the fencing sword comes up here out of the frame, so a little more what they were looking for there. Added this one in. So again, I replaced an image in here and put this one in. I'm not quite sure why I forgot to put this one in my portfolio at the beginning. Really love this image, so I thought it was a great one to work in. They gave me some great feedback on the slide image. I cropped a little bit. I made it a little darker, added a little like texture and clarity here, so to help out, kind of make that a little more grungy. So there's that image. Again, this one is for hype of the school, right? You want to show that you're not just always paying attention to the action; you're paying attention to the things going around you or on around you. And then I also cropped in a little bit, and then Nate had mentioned, it felt a little flat, so I pulled up the whites and increased the saturation a little bit, which actually helped pull Wilbert out of the crowd a little bit. So very happy with that. I do wish we didn't have the cell phone here, but not much we can do there. I replaced the other hockey image I had in this portfolio based on some of the feedback they had given me. They had talked about liking the symmetry of the image, and how I kind of uncropped it symmetrical or unsymmetrical. So I went back in and found another image. This one is just really to demonstrate that I'm willing to change up the angles. I'm from the catwalk, but I did, take their feedback and got the more symmetrical image, as well as the puck in this shot here. So we replaced the hockey image with this one. Great feedback from Aaron on this image. There was some edge tension Nate had mentioned, so I got increased the edges there. I also really went in and helped the reds in his uniform. There was it kind of very light on the reds here, and it was kind of turning more of a orangey look a little bit. So I just came in here and cleaned up the red, and made sure I stuck just to the uniform, so that way I wasn't increasing the reds in his skin at all and making it awkward. So really like how this came out after I increased the reds. This is an image that I added in. This was again one of those really close images that I thought I would want to add in, that I decided not to. But going back in, I wanted to add it in because I don't have any silhouettes in my portfolio. So this is a good silhouette. You can kind of see the outline here with the highlights a little bit. You obviously know what's going on in the image there. The brightness draws you right to him. Really just think this is a fun image, and adds something a little different to the portfolio. The Utah home run, I cropped in. So based on their feedback, cropped in, and I actually really like it. Put the captain right on that third there. And that's all I really changed with this one, was cropping in. Again, another crop in here. I got rid of the air vents up there, brought it down a little bit, and kind of put more of the focus on him. His head's a little higher than the center now. So really like the feedback there. Didn't change anything to this image. Oh, here we go. This one, I cleaned up the ground. So one of the things they had mentioned was kind of paying attention to what was on the ground. I didn't really do that. There was like some old gum and some like little water valve things back here. So I just kind of cleaned up the image, and then I tried to, because it's on a slope, right? So this is on a slope, but this is straight across the wall. So you can kind of see it's going down just a little bit still, but I came in here and worked it out a little bit to help bring up this side so it's not so tilted. And then the last image, I didn't do anything on this one. They did mention kind of changing up the yellows in here, to make it a little more yellowy. So I might go back and fix that a little bit, but overall, I really do enjoy this image. But yeah, so those are the changes I made to the portfolio based on BYU BYU Photo's feedback. Again, I really appreciate the time they took, and I really think it strengthened it. I did end up cutting down to 20 images instead of the 21. So we're right there, and I think I have a strong portfolio. And again, thank you guys for taking your time, BYU. And I hope this was helpful. I hope it shows that I'm willing to accept feedback for all those employers out there. I take feedback well. I'm willing to put my ego aside and make the changes necessary to create a great portfolio and great images for myself, and then hopefully for whatever university else gets me out there. So thank you guys, and we'll catch you later.